Hi everyone, welcome back to Care Embodied, the channel for all things health and wellness, organic skincare and body care products, plant-based recipes, everything. If that's the type of stuff you like watching, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you'll know when we post new videos. So today I want to address part 2 of causes of menstrual cramps. So we did a video probably a couple months ago on part 1 that was talking about hormonal imbalances and how that can play a role in extremely painful menstrual cramps. So if you did not watch that video, make sure you go watch it. I'm gonna link the video and the blog in the description box. So we have a blog on our website, bendybeautybybrie.com. So if you prefer to read, I'm gonna link the part 1 video and blog below, and I'm gonna link the blog for part 2. So before we get started, of course, I gotta come in and say this disclaimer: the information in this video is purely information. I am not a doctor. This is not intended to replace any advice from a licensed medical professional. This is not intended to try to diagnose, cure, or treat any diseases. This is purely for informational and awareness, informational purposes and awareness. So disclaimer. Now let's get into it. So part 1 of causes of menstrual cramps talked about hormonal imbalances and different things that can cause your hormones to be imbalanced. Again, if you want to see that, which I recommend you watch it first, click either the blog link or the video link in the description box. So part 2 is going to talk about menstrual products. So again, as stated in part 1, I suffer from extremely painful menstrual cramps ever since I started having my period, really. Like, I started having my period when I was 10. Like, the first 5 or 6 months was chilling. Month 6, I thought I was gonna die. And I'm so serious. I thought I was gonna die. And it kind of was just downhill ever since then. So I'd be throwing up. I went from having a 3-day period to 7 days in that 6-month period. I'd just be out of commission, like just so painful that I was out of commission. I have a dull ache, and I'm gonna get a little not gory, but like into detail. So I'm not gonna be describing like no nasty shit, but like I'm gonna get into a little detail. So I used to have a dull ache in my vagina, like dull ache, like just aching in my uterus. It felt heavy, like just painful, and I just be throwing up and boo-booing and sweating while I'm cold, shaking while I'm hot, like all type of crazy stuff. So on my life journey, I figured out some things as I grew and I learned and I did research, everything. So again, part 1, I found out about the role of my hormones in my period cramps. Part 2, menstrual products. So did you know these menstrual product companies are legally not required to list the ingredients that they use in their pads and their tampons and stuff on their packaging? They don't legally have to do that. So they could put anything in there and we don't even know about it. So this happens because the FDA considers like menstrual products like pads, tampons, menstrual cups, even panty liners. They consider that type of stuff as a medical device. It's classified as a medical device. So they don't have to list the ingredients on the packaging of what they use in it. So I remember when I first figured this out, I was in college. I was a freshman in college. I remember, I can see it vividly. I scrolled past this post and somebody said they put chlorine in our pads. That causes uterine cancer. Chlorine. What? Research. Then I started seeing they make chlorine-free pads. So that must mean if they make chlorine-free pads, that must mean that it's chlorine in the regular ones. Why are they putting chlorine in the pads? But anyway, so in summary, they could put anything in these pads and we just not gonna know about it because they're not legally required to list the ingredients on the packaging, right? So during my research, and this could be found in the blog, again in the link in the description box, I was doing some research, and This one specific popular, and honestly, I used to use them. I don't know if I legally can say their name. I used to use these pads, right? And this study was done. So the Stat Analysis Corporation, looking at my notes, Stat Analysis Corporation did a volatile organic analysis of 4 different types of pads from this brand, right? Scented and unscented. So they did a study, analysis of the organic compounds in this pad, on these 4 pads. And they found that these pads contain ingredients like, hold on, let me scroll. Styrene, which is a carcinogen. Carcinogen means it's cancer causing. Chloromethane, a reproductive toxicant. So it's toxic to your reproductive system and you putting it directly on your coochie. Chloroethane, carcinogen, cancer causing. Chloroform, carcinogen, reproductive toxicant, neurotoxin. And these things are going directly in our coochies. Now, mind you, everything you put on your body is absorbed directly into your body, into your bloodstream. We talk about this a lot with my Betty Beauty by Bree, which is the other Karen body. You know, it's just, we merge together. We the same person. Betty Beauty by Bree. Everything you put on your body is absorbed into it. The absorption rate for the genital areas and the underarms is 100%. And you can find a scholarly link in the blog, because I know people be, oh, where's your link? Where's your link? Like, you can't look it up yourself. But the link is in the blog. So if you want to see a link, click the blog link in the description box. The absorption rate for products for the genital areas is 100%. So everything that you put near your coochie is being absorbed by your coochie. So you got chloroform being absorbed by your coochie. Chloroethane, chloromethane, styrene being absorbed by your coochie. And these are things that are toxic to our reproductive systems. Neurotoxins, toxic to, you feel me, all the nerves and shit and stuff in our bodies. And they cause cancer. And this, they don't even have to put this on the packaging. And it's not even getting into the chlorine. This wasn't even talking about the chlorine. And then another link, again, is in the blog. The director of science and research for the Women's Voice of the Earth, they was doing analysis of different types of period products and stuff. And whatever companies they were talking to only voluntarily listed 9 basic ingredients. But they did an analysis and found out that there's 45 to 75 ingredients in the pads. So if you suffer from extremely painful menstrual cramps, you might want to look at your products. So, with that being said, you want to go, like I said, watch your products. If you using popular commercial brands that, if it don't say chlorine free or organic cotton, you probably shouldn't be using it. Basically, is what I'm saying. So I used to use, like I said, I used to use Always pads. And when I first found out about that, I'm like, what? So I switched over to the L brand, right? They had chlorine-free pads. Now, another thing, before I even continue, if you see any type of product that has ingredient-free, that means the ingredient that is free of, you probably shouldn't be using it in the first place. Like chlorine-free pads, fluoride-free toothpaste, aluminum-free deodorant, just things to keep in the back of your mind. But I switched to the L brand. This was like July of 2019. I had just found out about it 2018. Like I said, I was in college. I had just found out about it. I switched over. I used the L brand for the first time in 2019, July 2019. August 2019, my very next period, my period was shortened by 2 days. And remember in the beginning, I said when I first started having my period at 10, it was 3 days. And in that 6-month period, it lengthened to 7 days. So I went from a 3-day period to a 7-day period. As soon as I started using chlorine-free pads, it shortened from 7 to 5 days. In 1 month, 1 use. So yeah, you want to opt for chlorine-free pads. If you use tampons, look for some chlorine-free tampons, organic cotton pads, organic tampons. I don't really know how menstrual cups and all that stuff work. So do your own research, of course, with everything. But I just wanted to come and inform y'all, if you didn't already know, that it's a whole bunch of BS in these pads and period products, period. The panty liners too. The panty liners too. Because when I was having a 5-day period, it was this, you know, if it's like I'm coming up on my period, sometimes I wear a panty liner because, you know, if it starts, I don't want to just be out here like, you know, just raw dogging it. So I used to use the Carefree panty liners. And, you know, this particular month, I felt like my period was coming, but I didn't know when. So I was just wearing panty liners. That month, my period was 7 days again. And I was confused. I'm like, but the only thing I did differently was wear the Carefree liners. So it's in the panty, it's something in the panty liners too. I didn't even do no crazy research into the liners. I was just looking at pads. But, you know, so I started off using the L brand. I currently use the Honey Pot. You gotta watch them too, because they just did a little switch with they soap ingredients. I stopped using that. They claim it's still all natural, but as a scientist, I don't really, it's not giving. It wasn't convincing to me. So, but that's your own choice. But yeah, I currently use the Honey Pot pads and panty liners. You could also try L brand, Rael. They got a whole little section of clean, them birds be tweaking every day, clean period products at Target. But again, you still want to do some research because it's a whole bunch of brands that claim they clean and they not clean for real. So just be mindful. And, pay the extra little dollars to not put cancer causing stuff in your coochie. Like, yeah, it might cost a little bit more than the cheap ones, but 100% absorption. And if you got crazy cramps, or your family got a history of fibroids and uterine cancer and stuff like that, you don't want to contribute to that. So, buy cleaner products, use cleaner products, watch part 1 of causes of menstrual cramps so that you know what's going on. And I'm going to be back with another part of this little series, because I've been able to drastically heal my menstrual cramps, but it's not perfect. And I know part 3 is going to be addressing the thing I'm still struggling with. But yeah, make sure y'all being careful what y'all put on y'all coochies. Cotton panties, like, if any at all, like, let her breathe. Give her nice products. Eat fresh fruits. Eat foods with probiotics. And stop trusting these companies with your health. They don't care about you. They care about your money. So yeah, that's it. If you like this video, make sure you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back a little later with part 3. Make sure you go watch part 1. I'm gonna link the description to part 1 video, part 1 blog, and part 2 blog. So